And then a few hours later, I get an e-transfer from him, and it's $200.
Real hot girl shit.
I'm like,
yeah, I'm in my bag, but I'm in his too. And that's why every time you see me, I got some new shoes.
what did I do to deserve this? Like,
You say it isn't my baby, it isn't my aunt. I let you know like
hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Mels, and I'm here with another video. Today I am doing another story time. As you can see by the title, today I'm telling story time on my sugar daddy experience. Now wait, stop. Before we start this, I need to say I never gave any sugar, okay? No sugar was ever given. So I just feel like I had to say that before I started, because some of y'all are gonna click on this and think like, what? Like, Mel's had a sugar daddy, like what has she been doing? Like, no. No sugar was ever given. Anyway, if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and we're just gonna get straight into it. Okay. So my sugar daddy experience, where do I start? It actually wasn't very long. This was about maybe September or October. I started working at a clothing store. I'll just name it because I'm not there anymore. I started working at Normal, which is a clothing store downtown. And basically they sell like Nike, Adidas, Champion, Stone Island, CDG, kind of just like streetwear type of clothes. And it's brings in a clientele that has more money. Like a lot of the people that would like come in the store and like shop and get a lot of clothes were balling. Like they had cash, because a lot of the stuff in the store was not cheap. So there was one day that I was working my shift and it was time for my break. So I went to the Dollarama across the street. I usually did that, like got some candy, some snacks. And while I'm in the candy aisle, so normally like when I'm out and about, like I just don't like to talk to people. And also it's on Rito Street. I mean, Rito Street is just known for crazies. It's just known for a lot of weird people. So when I'm walking down the street, I never make eye contact with anybody. Making eye contact means you would like a conversation. If you make eye contact with anybody on Rito Street, you're asking to be bothered. So I'm always in my zone, get what I need, get back to the store. So I walk into Dollarama, I'm in the candy aisle, and I pick, some stuff, whatever I'm looking. And then I hear someone behind me say, oh, do you need help reaching that? And I'm like, no, okay, I'm fine. Like I didn't even look back to see who was talking to me. Like I had my earphones in, like I wasn't trying to be bothered. So I was like, oh no, thank you. And they're just like, oh, okay, yeah. So how's your day been? I'm just like, they're really trying to have a conversation. So I turn around and it is like this short, he was definitely Jamaican from his accent. And so yeah, short Jamaican man, long dreads. And he seemed like a nice man. He seemed like, nice, friendly. And sometimes like older people are like lonely and just need someone to talk to. So I wasn't rude. I just was like, oh, like my day's been all right. Like I'm just on my break from work. And he was just like, oh, well, I'm an event planner. I do events and I host like concerts and stuff like internationally, and he gives me like one of those flyers. You ever like leave the club? This is usually for like black events. I don't know. This has only really happened to me after like a black event or leaving like a black club. You ever leave and there's always those people handing out those flyers for like after parties and stuff like that. So it was one of those type of flyers. So like I take it. I'm just like, okay, yeah, cool. He's like, yeah, like I've worked with Beyonce, I've worked with Alicia Keys. And that's when I was just like, then I knew at that point, like, okay, like he's lying. But I'm gonna let him think that I believe him. So I was just like, what? No way, you work with Beyonce? Oh my God, that's insane. He's just like, yeah, so I work with like a lot of big celebrities, and like, let me get your number so that I can get you backstage at one of their events one day. And I'm just like, I knew this man was lying, but this was have you ever been just really bored and entertained by a situation that you don't mind entertaining it? Like on any other day, I feel like I wouldn't have entertained this, but I just felt like it that day. And so I actually gave him my real number. I don't know why I did that. To this day, it's just not like me to give my number out. So I really don't know why I did it, but I gave him my real number. Like I was really playing along. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like that'd be so crazy to meet Beyonce. Like of course. And like I give him my number. And he's like, oh, so you mentioned you were working. Like where do you work? And I probably shouldn't have shared this information. I don't know, like I'm really thinking back on this story and I'm like, I put myself in really awkward positions because I just straight up like, I was like, oh yeah, I work across the street at the clothing store over there. He's like, oh, okay, maybe I'll just come stop by. And I was like, yeah, maybe not, closing soon, so maybe a different day. And he's just like, oh yeah, we'll see. I grab my candy and I go check out, like I go to the cash, you know, pay for it, and I go back to work. After my break is over, I go back into like my section, which that I cover, and an hour later I hear, so there's an upstairs and a downstairs, and my section was the upstairs area and femmes, so this is like the women's section, and I hear downstairs a familiar voice, and it was the Jamaican man from Dollarama. And I was just like, no way. And the guy who was working the other side of upstairs, like I just like, oh my God, that's the man who was talking to me at Dollarama. And he's just like, oh, like this is your fault, like you entertained it. And I was like, yeah, it really is. And so I was just hoping he wouldn't come upstairs, but he ended up coming upstairs. When he sees me, he's just like, oh, the Jamaican cutie, I'm gonna call you cutie now. He comes over to me, he takes my hand like this and like kisses it. I'm just like, is anybody noticing this? All I see is the guy who was covering the other end, and he just starts laughing. The second that this man took my hand and kissed it, I just hear him start to die. He was dying. Yeah, I snatched my hand back and I'm just like, hi. And he starts to look around a bit. He's asking me questions about the clothes and femme to buy for like his nieces. I show him some clothes that they might like. Maybe he got like 2 Adidas jackets, Nike sweats. So maybe this is around 300 already that he has in his hand. So I'm like, okay, maybe he has like, you know, a little cash. So I help him out. He also picks out a pair of shoes and stuff. So yeah, it was like a pretty decent sale. Like I think I got maybe like 500 or 600 out of that sale. So I was like, okay, so maybe he's not like flexing. He's definitely lying about the Beyonce and Alicia Keys thing, but he has some sort of money. Or maybe he was just flexing for the moment and is gonna come back tomorrow and return it. But I was like, hey, like he has some cash. So yeah, he's just like, oh well, like I'm really glad I got your number and thanks for helping me out like around the store, and I'll probably hit you up. Like I'll probably just hit you up for concert tickets or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, thanks. He said, all right, said goodbye, he left. I really wasn't expecting him to call for a concert because I knew he was lying about the concert. I really didn't expect him to call me at all. Maybe like 2 months go by and I've completely forgotten that this has happened. I forgot. Like 2 months go by and I get a call from a blocked number. And I answer the call and I recognize his voice immediately. Even though it had been 2 months and like I forgot about it, the second that I heard his voice, I knew exactly who it was. And I was just like, oh, hey, who's this? Just pretending like I didn't know. And he was just like, oh, it's da-da-da-da-da, the event planner you met when you were working about like a few months ago. And I was just like, oh yeah. I really didn't feel like entertaining this conversation. It kind of just felt like a waste of time. I don't like talking on the phone in general. I'm not gonna be rude for no reason, but I definitely was just being dry because I didn't want to just sit here and talk about nothing. It was just like, oh yeah, like I've been good. I actually, my day I did this and that and da 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 da. And I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. He's like, what'd you do for your day? And I was just like, nothing. Like, I didn't feel like talking. And then I think he knows that, so he gets to the point. He's just like, oh, so it's just been a while and I was thinking about you and I just wanted to like gift you something for helping me out that day. And I was just like, I'm listening. He's like, gift? I said, oh yeah, like, oh, and you asked about my day? Yeah, my day was really, really good. I did, I went shopping, hung out with my girls, it was a really great day. What'd you say, a gift? Yeah, so I was like, oh, why, you don't have to do that. Like, I was working, so obviously I'm gonna help you out. And then he was just like, no, yeah, like, I really just want to thank you. What's your email? So I give him my email, and then he was just like, I just wanted to thank you for helping me out that day, and I'll probably like call you like later on in the week. And I was just like, yeah, okay. And we end the phone call. And then a few hours later, I get an e-transfer from him, and it's $200.
Real hot girl shit.
I'm like,
Yeah, I'm in my bag, but I'm in his too. And that's why every time you see me, I got some new shoes.
what did I do to deserve this? Like, I was literally feeling myself. I said, wow, so this is all it takes. Amazing. But at this point, like, I really wasn't expecting like a sugar daddy type of thing. Like, I just thought like, oh, just a one-time like $200, that's really nice for him to do. I really wasn't expecting more money, and I'm not the type to ask for more either. I just thought, oh wow, like, that's nice. $200, like I can buy like a pair of shoes or something. So yeah, I left it at that, and then he doesn't call me or anything until another month goes by. So yeah, a few months later, another 1 or 2 months go by, and I get a call again from a blocked number. I really forgot about the situation again, like, and I didn't really know. I answer it, and then it's him again, and I'm just like, oh, hey, long time. And he's just like, yeah, it's been a while. Like, I just was, busy. I've been traveling, and I wanted to catch up with you, see how you've been doing. So this time, I come through with the energy because another 200 would be amazing. Oh yeah, I've been like, working on my music, working more, trying to like get my music up and da 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 da. And he's like, oh wait, what? You make music? I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that. And I told you I do events. Why didn't you tell me? I was just like, oh, like, I don't know. And he's just like, oh, I could really help you out. So he starts talking about like, oh, I can like do events for you and like get you to open up for certain people, da da da. I really didn't believe a word he was saying. Again, I was just acting like I believed him. So I was just like, oh wow, really? That would be really, really great, yeah. And he was just like, yeah, so I have a few questions for you. And I was just like, okay. He starts asking me like, oh, what's your favorite designer bag? Louis Vuitton's cute. I wouldn't mind a Louis bag. And he was just like, oh, okay, Louis. And he's like, any other like designer stuff that you like? And I was just like, I just started listing some things. I don't even know what. Like maybe like, Chanel, Michael Kors, stuff like that. And he's just like, oh, okay, yeah. He's like, apparently he's writing it all down. And he's just like, so you would like this for me to get you stuff like that? And I was like, well, only if you want to. Like, I'm not really asking, but if you want, you can. And he's just like, yeah, well, like, I really feel like women need to be provided for, and like, I really like providing for women. And I said, okay, well, yeah, if you want to send it, you can. And he's like, before I do any of that, though, I have to ask you something. And this is when the conversation gets really uncomfortable. Like, he starts to say things like, oh, what's your favorite part on your body that you like? Do you know what my favorite part of your body is? One thing I won't do, I just won't put myself in an uncomfortable situation for money or materialistic things. Like, I won't do it. I would rather make my own money than have to be uncomfortable to make money. So when he starts talking like this, I'm like, oh yeah, well, I'm not really into this conversation. And he's just like, oh, sorry, but let me just ask you one more thing. And I was like, okay, what? And he says, I really want to give you what you want. Like I really want to get you the designer bags, and I want to be someone who can provide for you whenever you need money or whatever you need, like gifts and stuff. Like I want to be that person for you. But there's this one thing that I'm really like trying to do. And I just, at this point, like I was expecting like that he was trying to like hook up, and I'm like, so I straight up say, and I'm just like, oh, well, if it's hooking up, then no, I'm not going to do that. And he's like, did I ever say that? He just got mad. Like, he just got an attitude. He's like,
did those words come out of my mouth?
And I was like, no, but I'm saying if that's what you're saying. He's like,
I never said those words, so just listen.
The attitude was pissing me off because I didn't ask to be on this phone call with you. I'm like, okay, so then what is it? And then he goes, I would just really like to play with your feet. And then he starts listing, I don't even want to say it out loud. He just had a very intense foot fetish. I don't want to go into specifics. It was just very, yeah. So he just had a foot fetish, and he wanted to do things with my feet that were really weird. So I had to say like, yeah, no, if getting gifts from you and being provided for requires me to have to do that, then I'm okay, I'm fine. And he's just like, are you sure? Because I was gonna help you with your music. And don't you want help with your music? And don't you want like me to set you up with like celebrities and give you studio time and stuff? And I'm just like, no. One thing that pisses me off, I never want anyone to feel like I need them to do anything. The second you think you can bribe me to get what you want once I've already said no, as if I'm like easily bought, is really annoying. So at that point I was just like, hey, yeah, no, this is the end of the conversation. It was nice meeting you. But yeah, that's it. And he says, okay, well, I guess that's it. We hang out, we end the conversation. I think it was gonna end there. But I think he felt bad for getting angry with me, because then a week later he sends me an e-transfer of another 200, basically saying, I'm sorry for for making you feel uncomfortable. I didn't mean to do that. And I really do still want to provide for you, and we can reach other steps later in time if that's what you're comfortable with. I take the money, and I wanted to block his number, but because he kept calling from a blocked number, I never had his number to block. But I really just wanted the situation to be over. It was making me feel weird. Like, I appreciate him sending me money and wanting to send me gifts, but I don't want anyone feeling like I need them. I can provide for myself. The next time he called me, I told him to stop sending me money and to leave me alone, because it was making me feel uncomfortable. Need him to be sending me 200 every couple of months. Like, if you're sending me like 1,000, then probably I would entertain it longer. But he hasn't called me ever since that last phone call. So I think the situation's over. But basically, that was my story time on my sugar daddy experience. Let me know if you think I fumbled the bag. I mean, I feel like I kind of fumbled the bag a little bit. Maybe like I could have like acted like it didn't bother me finessing more money from him. I just kept getting the vibe that he didn't have the money. That is my sugar daddy experience. If you enjoyed the story time, please give it a like and subscribe. Right now I think I'm at like 46 subscribers, and I'd really like to reach 100 in the next like month or so. So if you like the content, please subscribe. I'm almost at my goal. I'm at like halfway at my goal. And yeah, I post every single Monday, so I'll see you guys next week. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.